Well, good morning, everyone. I'm Conrad Smith with AIM Transportation Solutions. Thank you for joining us today. If you're here, then you're probably experiencing the pain the diesel technician shortage is having on businesses that maintain their own fleets. And if that is, in fact, you're definitely not alone. And more importantly, you're not without options. So with that in mind, today's webinar is really designed to give you practical, real-world strategies around recruiting technicians, retaining the ones you have, and exploring maintenance alternatives that can reduce the pressures the diesel technician shortage is putting on companies. So our hope today is that you walk away with some new tools in your tool belt, no pun intended, to help tackle those challenges head on. And just real quick, for those of you who may not be familiar with us, AIM Transportation Solutions is a family-owned and operated business. We're also the largest privately held commercial truck leasing company in the U.S. We support companies nationwide with services like full-service truck leasing, commercial truck rentals, truck maintenance programs, dedicated contract carriage, freight brokerage, and used truck sales. And because we operate and maintain more than 11,000 trucks and trailers and support fleets of all sizes, we really see these workforce challenges from multiple angles. So today we're happy to share how we've remained successful in the tough, highly competitive labor market that we all find ourselves in. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. To walk us through both sides of the technician equation, that is recruiting and retention, we're joined by two AIM leaders who work on this every single day. First, we'll hear from Carly Kuntz, AIM Senior Vice President of Human Resources. Carly will discuss the retention strategies that truly make an impact beyond those tangibles like compensation and benefits. You know, things like workplace culture, communication, and engagement. They all have resounding impacts. And then we'll hear from Susie Bear, AIM's Vice President of Talent Management, who leads the team responsible for filling those critical diesel technician roles across the company, along with other roles like drivers, operations staff, and corporate positions. And she'll share what's working right now in technician recruiting, where companies often struggle, and how to position your organization to stand out in a highly competitive market. And just real quick before I forget, we will have a Q&A session at the very end. So if you do have questions, please hang on to them until then. So with that out of the way, Carly, Susie, whenever you're ready, go ahead and take it away.
Thank you, Conrad. So exciting to be here to talk a little bit about this. Like he said, we do this every single day, but it's good to get this out there to everybody else. So my name's Carly Kuntz. I am the Senior Vice President of Human Resources here at AIM. I've been with AIM for almost 18 years. So I've seen a lot. We've seen growth. We've been through COVID together, the Great Resignation, recession. So we're on board for whatever comes our way. But today I wanted to talk a little bit about retention, culture of the company, and just kind of show you what we do and what we value and what we're working with our employees. So we always hear more and more about a company's culture and what are they doing for their employees. Yes, vacation time, 401k, benefits, they're all super important. Everybody's looking for those, but they want to know, what else do you have to offer for me? So we kind of look at it as culture, and what exactly is company culture? So it's basically a shared set of values, attitudes, practices that define a company or organization and their personality and helps guide employee behavior. It's kind of like this is how we do things around here. How do you do it? This is what we do. So this slide and some of the next slides that we talk about are going to show you what AIM does and what our culture kind of looks like. So right here, you're going to see different branches that we thought were super important, and we picked out a few that we wanted to share with you and talk a little bit about. So right at the top, starting at 12 o'clock, we do have an open door policy. So any member of our team can reach out to someone on our leadership team or in corporate and ask them questions or ask for guidance if they need guidance. So that's very important for us and what we talk about a lot with our new hires. We also strive to mentor new employees by having others in leadership positions work alongside them. To kind of mentor them and show them kind of the AIM way and how we do things and how we see success and what we want from them. Social media engagement. Our marketing team is excellent at sharing our stories on social media, and we'll get a little more into that here in the next couple slides. But our recruiting team is also important because they share complete visibility during the entire recruiting process, beginning with the applicant that is applying for the position and with the hiring manager on what exactly they need for that specific position. We also host an annual town hall webinar where all of our executive team gathers and gives an update on the status of the company. So they talk about where we are, what we've seen so far during the year, and it's really a good, health of the company update for all employees. Any employee, their spouse can log on and listen to that. Lastly, we have several workplace awards that we like to show off to everybody. We do injury-free days, we do tech challenges, and we make sure that we post those on social media, but also post those in the company newsletter and send out to employees. So basically this slide just shows or says, how can you show your culture? So like I mentioned just before, there were several ways that we personally share our culture. I talked about our social media page and how our marketing team gathers information and shares information with those out there. We post promotions, we do team and facility lunches, we do fun engagement events off-site. Social media is really one of the first places a job seeker is going to look at, especially in these new generations, which I'll get into here in a little bit. But they are really going to go to Facebook or Instagram or even TikTok at this point in time and see, like, what are we posting? Are we talking about employees? Are we just talking about, corporate events, anything like that? So we show more than just leadership. We want to show real team moments that those people that are interested in working for us, that they're physically going to be a part of. And listen, you have to post a lot. Posting once a month just doesn't cut it right now. We used to say, like, let's post at least weekly. And I think at this point in time, we're posting daily, sometimes multiple times a day. And most importantly, always include a job link. So you say, hey, here is where we had a fun outing for some of our mechanics at this location. Are you interested in working for us? Click this link. This is where you apply. So videos are also great too. We put that here at the end. The Gen Z loves these videos. They can be homemade, they can be professionally made, they can be made with an iPhone, but these newer generations definitely prefer videos over reading something. So I'm going to just show you these next couple slides, some of the things that we do post online. Just starting here at the top and going clockwise, we have an anniversary announcement. This person here had a milestone anniversary that we celebrated. We do retirement parties. In the far corner, you see a holiday lunch that we had. We also had a fun little best dressed award. Somebody got an award for their best holiday outfit that day. We have some people who are volunteering at the United Way. So we do have several different ways that we like to give to United Way, and in-person volunteering is one of those that we're super proud of and we like to be a part of. We have in the middle there, you see that cute little dog there. We had a contest where we handed out AIM handkerchiefs, and anybody who wanted one could take one, put it on their pet, and post a picture of their pet. And the pet with the most likes got the prize as the cutest pet or most loved pet award. So that was really fun for all of our employees across the country to take part in. And then I think the last one here is just like a fun off-site engagement that we had at one of the Dave and Buster type places one time. And then last one here, we did a huge write-up and a huge post on our National Lease Tech Challenge winners, so we definitely wanted to celebrate that. We also have a group there in the middle that we have a safety week each week, so they completed their safety week, and we took a picture of them in front of our safety week poster so that everybody knew that they had completed it. And then we also have a promotion here of somebody who was promoted to a regional service manager position. So all of those are very exciting, and those are things that we want people on the outside looking in to see how we celebrate our employees. So I did mention a little bit about job seekers going to social media accounts to see what we're all about, but where else are they going? They're going to job boards like Indeed. So you go on Indeed, you look at what jobs are out there, but what are they going to see there? They're going to see reviews. So the needle is very, very, very hard to move on those Indeed reviews. So that's why we've kind of tasked ourselves with getting that rating up. So to do that, we ask for reviews during certain points in time. So maybe after a really good performance review where an employee expresses that they enjoy working with us and they're so glad that they found our company, we might say, that's great, we're so glad to have you here. We would love for you to go online and tell everybody how much you enjoy working here so that other people can see it as well. So we talk about that during that time, maybe when we're giving out rewards like for injury-free days or any type of recognition, and also during good times like promotions or anniversaries or even employee luncheons where everybody's gathered around and eating some good food and having good conversation. So those are all points in time that we ask for people to maybe go online and review us so that everybody else can see what we're all about. So one of the ways that we are able to get out there and talk to our employees is by engaging a retention specialist. So this person reviews any surveys that we put out there. They help put together employee newsletters and is essentially our first line of defense when it comes to some employee-related issues. They're really a boots on the ground type of person who kind of travels to all of our locations and engages with the employees. So he offers open dialogue between himself and the employees. He passes along his phone number. And so people remember that and they remember him being there. So when they have an issue or have a question, a lot of times he's the first person that they reach out to. I also mentioned our employee newsletter, and we do get contributions from several department heads. So it's not just one group working at the corporate level saying this is what we're putting in there. We're going out there and asking people, what would you like to see? Do you have anybody that you want to pay special attention to? So we do get a lot of input from department heads and those out in the field. We also like to promote our programs like our Tech Rewards. So our Tech Rewards program is pretty cool. They can earn points for certain things like getting their CDL, doing online training, or just for simple things like celebrating a birthday or an anniversary. They just automatically get points for that. So it's really cool to see people accumulate those and what they purchase. We've had people purchase boats. We've had people purchase, kitchen utensils, movies, anything. It's really fun to see, especially towards Christmas time. You see a lot of technicians saving all those points and getting Christmas presents at that point in time. So talking to each other is always important, and that's why we always aim to have a clear, compelling, and collaborative conversation with hiring prospects. And with managers as well. So it all starts with recruiting and the hiring manager. They need to collaborate on what they need at their facility, what the hours are, what the tasks are going to be, what experience they're looking for. And then we make sure that we make reaches to applicants in a timely fashion. Nobody should be sitting by the phone and waiting for us to call them. We need to get to them immediately as soon as we possibly can. We also partner with tech schools and we attend career days, and this kind of helps us connect with admissions departments to seek out applicants for jobs that are up and coming. So conversations should always be kept going. I kind of talked about what our retention specialist does, but this also includes the recruiters. Not only are they recruiting the person, but they're also checking in with them after they've been working for a little bit to see how things are going and if the job, meets their expectations. And also, if they're there to answer any questions if they are needed. And this is going to be my last slide before I turn it over to Susie, but this is probably one of my favorite slides to talk about, and it's all about the different generations in the workplace. So we are very unique in this time because many of us are seeing all these different generations in the workplace at one time, except for Gen Alpha. Don't worry, they're coming, but they're not here yet. But we're talking about the boomers, the Gen X, Gen Y, Gen Z, and what they're looking at in the workforce right now. They all learn differently. Each one learns differently. They teach differently. They take criticism differently. They want different things. So our managers have to know this. They might not particularly like it, but in order to keep our organizations running, they really have to know how to address these each differently. Our boomers, they like those meetings, those face-to-face conversations. Gen Xers might prefer an email or a phone call. And the Gen Ys, the millennials, they want a text message so they don't have to answer the phone. Gen Z, those are our video people. They want to watch a video about something. They don't want to have to read a packet. They want to see how to do it hands-on. So it's very important that we incorporate a little bit of all of this when it comes to communicating to our employees. It can't be just one way. This is how we've done it. This is how we're going to continue to do it. We have to adapt to the different generations. And, when it comes to Gen Alpha, check back because we have no idea what they're doing or what they're going to want, but we're gonna work with them and we're gonna get them into the workforce here in the next few years and see what that's all about as well. So I appreciate this time, Conrad. Thanks so much. Now I'm going to turn it over to Susie Bear. She's our VP of Talent Management.
Hi, everyone. Good morning. I'm Susie Bear. I'm super happy to be here. Thanks for inviting me. I have been with AIM for a little over 4 years, and as Carly said, I'm Vice President of Talent Management. I work very closely with her. We are only a couple doors away from each other, so we do collaborate all day long. And if any of you know me, I feel that it is an honor to be in recruitment. Not only do we change the lives of the individual, we potentially have the opportunity to change the lives of their family. And I would be remiss to even start about this slide of talking about job posts, to go back to slide 8 almost. You don't have to do that, Conrad. It really starts with my team. They are a great group of individuals that talk about AIM and talk about the jobs and are able to really give a good, clear picture to individuals that are applying to jobs. And how does that even start? It starts from job posts. This is $1 million question that we talk about all day long. How can we have our jobs appear more efficiently on job boards? How do they look? How do they sound? How would the job seeker really view those on a job board? So the first thing I would tell you is to tell your story succinctly. A good hire is going to start with a strong, clear story, essentially, of our culture and of the job. And I would tell you that a job ad is not the same thing as a job description. Job ads should be engaging. They should be concise. And you can see a job ad that is actually on the left-hand side of this slide, and it looks very different than the job description that is on the right-hand side. Wordiness, can hurt SEO. We use terms such as diesel mechanic, diesel technician, truck mechanic, and we consider hiring experienced mechanics as well, and obviously training them the AIM way. But this is a big piece. We partner with our marketing team. Our marketing team actually created this job ad on the left-hand side, and it actually appeared on social media last week, and they're a really big help to us. So job boards, again, I would tell you to be proactive and not passive. If your job ad, like I had mentioned, isn't attracting talent, adjust it. Stay updated with local wage studies to stay competitive and really track funnel metrics. So when we're looking at wage studies, again, as I mentioned, I work closely with Carly right down the way, and we'll have conversations. And even with the recruitment team, if they're hearing some different wages that might be happening in different markets, is that we have tools that we're able to pull wage studies. When we take a look at tracking funnel metrics, there's always a discussion about leads. Leads should lead to applications, which should then lead to hires. Really, when you're looking at a lead, anything that is above a 2% conversion rate to a hire is a good, solid benchmark. Anything that's above that, you're on the right path. Okay, so thanks, Conrad. Where did we find mechanics in 2025? You can see this slide here, and for the most part, when you look on the left-hand side, it's Indeed. 48% of our mechanics came from Indeed. But another piece of the puzzle that we are so really proud about is our referrals, which is at 23.58%. The rehires are at 7.55, and anything that is essentially below that, from Facebook all the way down, again, we work really closely with our marketing team. And the biggest piece that I would tell you to take away from this slide, it's really diverse, right? Like we're not putting all of our eggs in one basket. We are really trying to cover all of our bases and look at different avenues to find mechanics, because truly they are a diamond in the rough. As I mentioned on the slide, we love our referral program. And a referral program is really a two-folded effect, right? So you're bringing on the mechanic, but then you also have this retention piece of a potential AIM employee. And our referral program is really for anybody that's in the company. Your referral programs should be a strong incentive. Money talks, right? Like, let's be honest, money talks for everybody. You can start planning your vacation potentially on some referral money. Collaboration, the message should flow from recruitment, then it should flow over from the managers to the employees. And then I would also have you have a clear message using posters, emails, and text messages to explain the program. We kind of like to use some fun things, as I kind of like to say they're a little hokey at times. People like some things that are fun and exciting, right? They draw your attention in. So we did Nutter Butters. We're nuts about referrals. And anyone that is going to a shop, really, if it's the regional managers or any one of us from my recruitment team, will take these into the shops and kind of explain it to the mechanics and to the service manager, like, hey, we have some treats for you today, but it's more than a treat. Like, this treat could really be a big treat for you in regards to referral money, right? Earn some brownie points. And then also our last one, which we love, is the Lucky Charms, right? Like you can have a pot of gold essentially for referring a mechanic to us. The other piece that I would talk to you about is, a clear application process. We need to review and refine it. Like, we will go online and look at our application process, because let's be honest, we all want things at our fingertips and we all want to do it fast. We want to click and go and point, and that's really essentially all that we want to do. So I would tell you, are your questions clear, concise, and relevant? Again, using drop downs to minimize free text responses. Identify and fix pain points or confusion in the process. If a question seems ambiguous to you, it more than likely is going to be a stumbling block for somebody that is applying for a job. Offer multiple ways to apply, and you can see some of them that we have on the right-hand side. We offer a quick apply, a full application, a chatbot, a call, a text message. We even include Spanish, a recruiting mailbox. So you can see there's lots of different ways. We capture all ways for people to apply. And then we also use a platform called Simple Text. This is just a texting application that we use that's worked well for us. There's quite a few of them that are out there, but that's a tool that my recruiters use, as well as my marketing team uses. And obviously we use LinkedIn. But then we also use support with drip email campaigns to re-engage candidates. When we talk about an average cost per hire, I know this is a discussion that happens from the top down, from every, shop location to every, conference room, to whether or not it's in the parking lot that you're talking to someone, is that the cost per hire. So when we look at the average cost for diesel mechanics last year in 2025, regardless of the platform, it was really about $5,000. So again, when we talk about this referral bonus payout, a $2,000 referral bonus is saving you money, and you are also getting a hook on the back end of the individual that's actually referring that candidate. Again, we partner with the marketing team. If you have one, I would suggest that, and they help to drive down the cost per hire. We talked about diversifying the job boards. Also pay attention to different markets. They might be a little bit higher. Like Phoenix is a high market, Chicago, Virginia, Washington, D.C. Obviously, where there's highly populated areas, the competition is going to be higher. And again, remember, those leads to full lap conversions for hires at 2% is a good benchmark. So diversify. That's one message I tell you to take away from this, is diversify your job boards. So I would say do utilize your ATS system for future dates, communication with previous applicants. It's a really good tool for you. Use Indeed, but look for other sources. Volume is important, but quality is the key. Engage with tech schools. We're so fortunate here at AIM that I have an individual that is on my team that is a senior talent specialist, and she engages with all the tech schools in the multiple states that we cover. Referrals, it's the best advertisement is for your employees. Succinct job ads. Include the best part about your company or the job itself. People want to know what is good about this job, what is good about your company. Find different job titles, whether it's a diesel mechanic or a diesel tech. And yes, you can reassess and make adjustments timely. So I mentioned using your ATS system. Listen, we've all paid for the leads, so we might as well use them, right? So a drip email campaign, they really work in the background. While you're actively engaging with the candidates or your recruiters are engaging with the candidates, they're answering phone calls, they are, working the leads that are coming in. These drip email campaigns are really just working in the background. It's like this little hidden tool that you have in the back. Again, we partner with our marketing team. I would advise you to do that to create compelling drip email marketing campaigns. And you should really review them annually. We do have people, and I'm sure you're like us, that people reapply. So if you have a little bit of a different message, it might be something that captivates them. And there should be a sequence. When the applicant applies and does not fill out the application, you should have a drip email campaign. I always like to use this analogy of like, when I go shopping and I'm shopping online at Macy's and I like that shoe and it's in my cart, right? And then they're going to tell me, you left that shoe in your cart. It's the same kind of thing with an application. The benchmark, again, is your 2% conversion rate. And crazy enough, in terms of the mechanics, we've seen success at day 4. And, I don't know if that is whether or not the mechanic applies. Maybe they go back to work that day, and it might take them a little bit of time to go back in and look at that email. But we've seen success at day 4. Again, I would tell you to use a sequence. We use targeted text messages. Again, this is just utilizing leads that have come into our ATS system. Move candidates into appropriate statuses so you know when you should be contacting and who you should be contacting. Partner with a text engagement. Again, we use simple text for a streamlined process, and the recruiters and marketing team can also utilize this tool. Market info, just overall, Indeed has done a couple changes in their marketing platform, so I would advise you to work with your Indeed reps for specifics. I have a specific Indeed rep that I work with. I think I contact them daily, sometimes twice a day, and we do meet with them a couple times a month. Their recommendation is for sponsored jobs, and again, like I mentioned, we have a relationship with the Indeed team. Partner with your marketing team if you have one to help to drive down the cost per hire, but also they talk about the culture. Diversify your job boards. ZipRecruiter, we have not seen much success with ZipRecruiter, but it might be worth a try. Again, it's not going to hurt anything if you try something different. It might surprise you. It might work. Again, different markets might be a little bit higher. And then your reviews for leads to full app conversion is just your benchmark. It's about 2%. All right, great. Well, Conrad, thank you so much. I appreciate the time, and I get to turn it over to Mike Hecker. He's a wealth of knowledge, and so we'll continue on this conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Susie, and thank you, Carly. That was great stuff. And I think one of my big takeaways is just how recruiting and retention really go hand in hand, and how they continuously feed into and enhance each other. So great stuff. Thank you again. And as Susie mentioned, we're going to be transitioning over to the some maintenance alternatives. So at AIM, recruiting, developing, and training diesel technicians is part of our core business. It's not something that we're trying to squeeze in alongside everything else. It's truly central to what we do. And now, partly because of this, we're fortunate to have the time, resources, and dedicated people to invest in it the right way. I mean, if you just look at this, the group that we have on this webinar, we have representatives from marketing, recruiting, HR, and maintenance. And it takes the collaboration of these teams and more, not to just hire and retain techs, but to do it efficiently and consistently. And for many of the companies that we work with, trying to staff and operate a maintenance shop plus pulls significant attention and energy away from their core business. And even with strong recruiting and retention strategies, many companies are realizing that the technician shortage isn't going away anytime soon, if ever. And that's why more companies are starting to explore alternative maintenance models that can reduce and in some cases eliminate the uphill battle of running a maintenance shop. And to walk us through that, I'd like to go ahead and introduce Mike Hecker, AIM's Director of Managed Maintenance.
Thanks, Conrad. So you've heard from Susie and Carly about what it takes to recruit and retain qualified technicians. It requires infrastructure, it requires discipline, and it requires ongoing investment. But at an executive level, the larger issue isn't simply whether you can fill roles, it's what happens operationally when stability fluctuates. Recruiting solves vacancies. It does not solve volatility. And volatility is what leadership ultimately feels in operations. When hiring stretches longer than expected, when turnover increases unexpectedly, when an experienced technician exits and the learning curve resets, the downstream impact isn't abstract. It shows up in preventative maintenance drift. It shows up in overtime spikes. It shows up in increased vendor reliance. It shows up in rework. And it shows up in leadership bandwidth being directed from strategy to staffing. The labor inputs create operational consequences, and those consequences compound over time. When you operate an internal shop model, you own the full life cycle of that workforce, not just wages. You own recruiting and retention risk. You own compliance exposure. You fund the training pipeline. You absorb supervisory load, and you carry performance variability. Most fleets don't struggle because the technicians lack skill. They struggle because consistency fluctuates. And consistency is difficult to maintain in a tightening labor market. When a senior technician leaves, productivity dips and oversight dips with it. When hiring takes longer than expected, preventative maintenance cycles stretch. And when supervision becomes reactive instead of proactive, standardization begins to erode. The fleet doesn't pause while those cycles play out. The exposure remains within your organization. Over time, that volatility becomes normalized until a disruption makes it visible. So this is where the structural decision becomes clear. Under a traditional internal model, you manage the workforce. You retain labor risk. You stabilize staffing internally. And there is internal accountability for uptime volatility. With professional shop management, or what AIM calls pro shop, the focus shifts. You manage outcomes. Workforce volatility is transferred. Continuity is managed by AIM. And AIM is responsible for uptime stability. That accountability changes the structure of how the shop is managed. That distinction matters. You still retain performance expectations. We absorb the labor market instability required to consistently deliver them. This isn't about outsourcing maintenance. It's about shifting responsibility for stabilizing the workforce to a partner whose core competency is managing it. That's a structural difference. Now, I do want to be very clear about something. Professional shop management, pro shop, is not just risk transfer. AIM formalizes how the shop runs, and structure is what creates consistency in fleet operations. That means structured supervision and performance management inside the shop environment. It means standardized preventative maintenance protocols, so execution is consistent regardless of location or technician. It means national recruiting infrastructure that supports the pipeline long-term rather than reacting to vacancies. It also means operational infrastructure behind the shop. AIM maintains a dedicated IT team that supports customizable reporting and performance visibility. Leadership can see uptime trends, cost performance, compliance metrics, and shop activity clearly and consistently. That transparency matters when you're managing large fleets. And just as important, we focus on leadership continuity. Succession planning for shop leadership is built into the structure, so performance of the shop does not depend on a single individual. If a supervisor moves on, the structure remains. The goal of this is simple: consistency. Consistency in execution, consistency in reporting, and consistency in performance. The technician labor market will continue to fluctuate. Wage pressure will continue. Turnover cycles will continue. Competition for skilled labor will continue. Those realities are unlikely to normalize in the near term, if ever. The strategic question isn't whether you can compete in that environment. The question is where that volatility should live. You can own the workforce and the volatility that comes with it, or you can own the outcomes and shift the instability behind them. Professional shop management allows you to maintain operational control and performance expectations without absorbing the workforce disruption underneath them. And it does that while adding structure, supervision, reporting visibility, and leadership continuity. That keeps the shop performing consistently. Stability does not happen accidentally. It happens by design. And the design decision is where that operational volatility lives. Ultimately, stability is a leadership choice. Now, I appreciate the opportunity to walk through this with you today. If you'd like to explore what professional shop management could look like within your operation, I'd encourage you to reach out directly to myself or to our senior account executive, John Matthews. We'd welcome a more detailed conversation around your structure, your footprint, and your long-term goals. Thank you again for your time today.
Yeah, no, thank you, Mike. I know you're really just scratching the surface here with AIM Pro Shop, but I think it's clear how many moving parts really go into running a shop and how a solution like AIM Pro Shop can lift those burdens so companies can focus more on their core business. So now I'd like to go ahead and open up the floor for questions if there are any. If you do have one, you can go ahead and ask it using the chat function. So we'll give it a second here, see if anyone has any questions. Maybe you all did such a good job there. You covered everything. No? All right. Well, I'm not seeing anything come through, so yeah. Well, if there's one thing that we hope that you take away from this conversation today, it's that the diesel technician shortage is real and it's challenging, but it's not insurmountable. There are proactive steps you can take on the recruiting side and intentional strategies you can implement to strengthen retention. And of course, there are those alternative maintenance options like AIM Pro Shop that can be leveraged to free time and resources that you can pour back into what matters most, and that's of course running your core business. Oh wait, I think I might have had a question come through.
Yeah, Conrad, there's a couple there in the chat.
Oh, okay. Sorry guys. All right, so the first one here, Andy, Frank, what is the average days to hire for you guys?
That's a really good question. I'll take that one. And again, I think it really depends upon the area, right? Like we really have benchmarks that we'd like to hire folks with be under 17 days, which I know is aggressive. In some markets, right, it could take us a little bit longer than that. It could take us probably up to 6 weeks. But again, it really depends on the market. And I would tell you that our benchmark is like 17 days. I think right now we're running at about a 21 day on average.
Right. Awesome.
And then there's another one in here.
Yeah.
This is a good question.
Yeah, Shay Steele asked, what are the best ways to stand out at a career fair?
I'll take that one too. We've done like the best ways at a career fair. So I would say a couple different things is you need to have enthusiastic people there, right? Like I have people on my recruiting team, whether or not it's Joey L or Kelsey or myself. And then sometimes we will even partner with a local shop that's in the area, like the regional managers, to get people engaged. And again, you could tell from some of the things that we do for our referral program. We do fun things at our career fairs. Like we have a Plinko board. I know it sounds kind of funny, but people love games. So we do Plinko boards and we'll give away some AIM swag. The other thing that I would tell you is you have to have some really good marketing collateral. We come with tablecloths and we have a banner. And I know they can be costly, but it is really worth the investment. And then with us partnering with some of these schools, we do try to negotiate some really good space. We get there early. We make sure that we are positioned in the right location. And we really like to have some fun swag for our games too.
Yeah, I know those games like that, the engagement that you get from those, it's a pretty small investment for a huge return. So
right,
yeah, that's a great point. And then the last two questions are kind of related. So I'll just say that I will be sending a follow-up email probably early next week that will have a link to this recording, and then we could put this presentation in there as well for you to share internally. So you'll have that, like I said, sometime early next week. So I think that just about does it, as long as I don't overlook any more questions. Nope, I don't see any. So, but yeah, if at any point you'd like to learn more about AIM Pro Shop or our managed maintenance programs, like Mike said, he'd be more than happy to talk. Oh, wait, did we? Okay. And he'd be more than happy to talk. Feel free to shoot him an email. His email's right there on the screen. And then, like I said, I'll send out that follow-up email. And if you have any questions or would like more information at that time, you can reply directly to that email. And thanks again to our presenters. This was amazing. You all did a wonderful job. And thank you to everyone else for spending part of your day with us. So we really appreciate it. So have a great rest of your day.
Thanks, everyone. Take care.
Thank you.